The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 24th day of October, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Wells, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Perry Ferbert, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy Thursday, Perry. How are you?
Happy Friday, Junior. I feel like that sounds better.
You know what? You said happy Friday. I was like, am I off? Am I off? Yeah. That sounds so much better.
It sounds so much better, right?
Yeah. What you been up to? You're dry.
Listen, I was about to say I'm avoiding the rain. I don't complain about the rain anymore. I feel like rain is such a blessing in so many ways. I don't complain about the rain, but I do not like being wet.
Okay.
But again, that could be like showers of blessings. You know, we can interpret it so many different ways, but it's been raining a lot. I will say that.
I say it's a spiritual cleansing, it's a cleansing.
Yeah, the rain washes away impurities. I'm here for that. It slows people down. Like, I'm here for the rain. Yeah. I just don't want to be, soaked.
I mean, look, you know what they say? There's some positives to everything and there's some negatives. And I think it's about finding the balance. Like, we appreciate you, but we don't need you this much. What they say?
Well, it's perspective.
Good for us?
It's perspective in all of it, right? You could see a sunny day as a beautiful day, or you could think that it's hot. You could see a rainy day as blessing, showers of blessings, cleansing, or you can see it as an irritant. It's all perspective, right? So I've just shifted my perspective to be positive about the rain.
Well, I hope everybody out there, you're finding some positivity in the rain, in the wet weather, and appreciating what comes with it. Because I tell you what, there were many times in my childhood where Bermuda almost faced droughts where people were starved for water and the like. So I think, times present different challenges, but sometimes we have to be, appreciative of those lessons and the challenges. So, all right, greetings, everyone. Well, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Dr. Kyjuan Brown on from NMAC for another segment of Ask the Doctor. We're going to be talking about the latest of hair restoration in Bermuda. So he's going to be updating us. He came on in June to speak about what they were going to be doing. And we're going to be speaking about some stories and how and who he's helped. The Daily Play is a Name That Place today. So don't forget, it's Name That Place. So folks, somebody might be eligible. But folks, I must announce right now, and I'll announce it through the show. Funny enough, we hadn't announced it anywhere, but the survey, this year's survey, we do an annual survey every October, and we are giving away a lot of stuff this time around, right? But I want to share that the survey, some of you may have received something last evening. The survey is available on our website. Just go on our website and you'll see survey. Just click that. It's about 10 minutes. Just give us 10 minutes of your time. Nothing tricky in there. We just want to retrieve as much information from you as possible. Even I did the survey, folks. Even I did it, right? It only took me, if I'm honest, it took me about 7 minutes because I had to think of some of the questions, even though some of them were like ones I came up with. I had to think, like, how old am I? Seriously, I really thought I was in the next bracket already. I did, Perry. But as Perry would tell you, it's a very engaging survey. If you provide us this information, it helps us to make decisions that are in your best interest. Like, what kind of perks do you want? What would you like to see? from us. So yes, please take 10 minutes. And if you know someone who tunes into the show, share it with them as well. We can definitely appreciate we definitely appreciate your feedback, and we'll do well with anything that you believe can help us do our jobs better. Don't forget to subscribe on the website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on and help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. David Michael Wilson says, happy Thankful Thursday to the H fam and crew. Let's live today for today. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow hasn't come. We appreciate you. James Burgess says, good morning to you all at the Daily Hour team. I'm listening. James Burgess, happy Thursday. We hope you're healing well, Mr. Burgess. I remember your story from last week. Hopefully you are on the mend with your new pacemaker, I think you said. Suzanne Ingham, she says, awesome Thursday, Jamel Perry and Maya. Jamel, I'm letting you know I missed you yesterday. I loved I love the rainwater in my tank. Everything is fresh when it rains, clean air. Love my TH team. Thank you. Look at Perry, everybody in
right there.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Let's jump into today's discussion, folks. This morning's question, I haven't read about the premier's statements yet, so I'm not going to address whatever he said. I haven't read it in full, I should say. I just skimmed the story. But it's something that was reported last week by Maya Perry. She was sharing the results of Bermuda's men's national football team games. And Maya has done an incredible job of, whether it's hockey or the women's football, the Olympians, track athletes, of keeping us updated with a lot of our sports stars. And I don't know about the audience, but I noticed something that was really stood out to me. And what I noticed was that when we see highlights of these games, I was privileged to watch Bermuda play on Amazon Prime. I was happy, like Bermuda's national team on Amazon Prime, the men's team last week against Dominica. And the camera was on the grandstand side and pointing towards the other side. And it looked like an empty stadium. And I remember growing up in the 90s, 1992, Gary Darrell's Bermuda's men's national team, that stadium was jam-packed. Jam-packed. So the question of the morning, folks, is how can we encourage more locals out to support our national teams, all of our national teams? How can we get more locals out to support our national teams? But also, have you been to support one of Bermuda's national teams in the last 5 years? Have you been to support one of Bermuda's national teams in the last 5 years? Yes or no? I'm interested to know that. Yes or no? Has anyone, and it's not a bad thing if you haven't, life happens, folks.
Yeah.
And I think this is part of it. Like, it's not necessarily like people are working more than ever to be able to survive. So this is not to shame anyone, but I guess we're asking, what would encourage Jamel Perry, yourself, to get out and support Bermuda's national teams?
Yeah. It's interesting because you referenced 92, I think you said. We didn't have the other side built up then. So granted, filling up the older side took less bodies, if you will. But there were still people standing around the sides. There's still the atmosphere there. The newer side does fill more people, but to your point, it's definitely not what it once was. Definitely not. So
I remember people sitting on the bench and everything, man.
I'm not sure. No, I remember how lively even just local games used to be.
PHC Stadium used to be jam-packed when I was a child.
But you know what? I think it's also a decrease in the younger generation because that was an outing from us, like a football. And people still do that, but I think there is a disinterest amongst the younger generations. They're disinterested in a lot of things if it's not online. If it's not in these phones, they're not really engaged. But I think that is part of the decline too, because young teenagers make up a lot of the bodies at these games, and I don't really know if they're going like that anymore.
You just made up made a valid point that I didn't consider just now. You just said they're in their phones. Could the fact that these games are now available online impact people actually going to them?
Yeah, possibly.
Really?
Possibly.
Yeah,
And then the population who could be going, more people live abroad now than before. So there's that too, because there's only like a select audience that would actually go, right? That have interest in it. Because some people, Bermudian or not, they're just not interested in any of the sports, whether it's our national team or not, they're just not intrigued to go. So there's that too. I think there's a lot of variables, but however, it's empty, you know?
Yeah.
That's a problem. They don't even have the lights on over there.
Harry, that's the thing that stood out to me just now. It's
Right.
like, dark.
But it could be for the very reason that there's no one over there. Or maybe it's not encouraged for them to be over there. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason.
Yeah, maybe. I think the reason is people are just not there. But I could be wrong. But audience, let us know. Have you been to support one of Bermuda's national teams in the last 5 years? Yes or no? Just a simple yes or no. Manda over on Axe, she says, yes, I try to go for every game that I'm available. We appreciate you, honestly. We do. And I'm trying to put myself out there, Perry. I honestly don't know the last time I went to support one of our 2008. I definitely was there, Bermuda against Trinidad, and the stadium was packed at that time. I don't know if I've, and this is going to sound bad because I've lived outside of Bermuda for consistently for so long. I don't think I've been to a game since Nikki Wells has been in the team. And that he's been in that team for about 11 years now. So I don't think I've been to a Bermuda football game. No. Have I seen the track athletes? Yes. The event that was taking place up there the past few April. So I've been up there for the track athletes. Hockey I've never seen. So no, I think, I mean, what would get me, like what would encourage me to honestly just having things while I'm in Bermuda? Honestly, I mean, that's my big thing. But if I was living in Bermuda, I mean, what would incentivize me? Like what audience, what would incentivize you?
Is it the price for some people? I wonder if it's the price. I wonder if people are genuinely just disinterested. But then that speaks to community, and our overall views on community have shifted. We had more connectedness before. We're not that communal. We see that. I mean, goodness, if you got in trouble at school, your neighbor beat you once upon a time. You know what I mean? We don't have that anymore. That sense of connectedness is just not there. So I wonder if that plays into it as well, possibly. Not sure.
That sounds like it could be valid. I mean, you again, you keep touching the surface on stuff in terms of you saying community. I mean, we can't ignore that Bermuda's had a gang-like problem for the last 15 years that's been in overdrive. And, back then, people would go to games. Now people probably wouldn't go to a game at National Sports Center in fear of not making it home, probably. I don't know.
There hasn't been an uprising of that at games recently, to my knowledge, unless I am just under a rock.
Well, no, I think that's my point. You wouldn't see it if they're not going to the games, right?
Right.
It's like when murders automatically dipped down after 2012. It wasn't because there was a new government. It was partly because many of the people who were shooting each other were either in prison or left the island or dead. So I think in context, if people are not in those spaces, then they're likely not going to be divided taking place, but it could be. That's just.
I don't think that's deterring people. I mean, we can toss it into the pot as something to consider, but I don't really think that that's keeping.
Right. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, again, what could be contributing to this? But let's go to the audience real quickly. Let's see what they say. Teray Toll says, young people stay catching strays. What's that about, Teray? Suzanne says, I don't go. I'm not a big sports fan of sports. When my grandson did football, I was there for them. Yes, Perry, it was an outing. Yep. Teray Toll says, I haven't been because I've been in school. They seem to happen during the school. I'm going with Teray. Yeah. I've been in school. Dorian says, folks don't go out because we lack national pride. Let's talk about that, Perry.
Yeah.
You think that's the thing?
I mean, it's the sense of community, right? A community. If you have the sense of community first, and you'll have the quote unquote pride in it. If you don't feel connected to it, why would you support it? And I think that's where the Daily Hour does a good job of highlighting our culture through, Bermuda trivia and all of the other efforts where we're talking about things to highlight what makes us so unique. I think people need to be reminded of that so that they can feel that sense of connectedness and that sense of pride, quote unquote. I don't really like the word pride. It has weird connotations, but for the sake of this conversation, yes, to feel connected and, esteemed to be Bermudian. I don't think people really have that anymore.
I agree. I would agree. I do think we lack, as a community, a love for self, as a people and an island and a country. I do. I think we do. I mean, me in particular, I do love being Bermudian. But also, I don't think people can separate love for country and love for government. I think a lot of people tie the two together.
Well, that's unfortunate because the government changes. So why would that's a changing thing versus a fixed, nothing can stop you from being Bermudian. So that correlation.
I agree. I mean, that's some people feel that way. Like, oh, I hate this country. Oh no, I think you hate the government. I don't necessarily think you hate the country, especially. And then when we talk about it, yeah, I see your point. Audience, I want to know from the audience though, how can we encourage more locals out to support our national teams? Canette Burgess said yes, caught the last football game, also watch Olympics, Bermuda and other sports. But she says a few factors. The family dynamic has changed. We used to go out as a family, but most don't. Individualism, gang issues, many can't go. Watch on phones, YouTube. High cost of games. So I think we touched on that. She also says can't afford or choose not to prioritize the game, weather factors, age and population. I also think we need to do better with sports marketing to lay it back. Also, big issue. I hear Jamel, many are tired of seeing us losing. They don't come out in fear of wasting their time. I hear that a lot because quality of athleticism has changed and behavior on the field.
Well, let's talk about that because that is something that I've talked about with my dad. So I come from a PHC family. Every man in my family has played for PHC. It is what it is. We are a zebra family. And my dad has commented many times on how they used to train versus how the individuals train now. And this isn't like a blanket statement for all athletes because some athletes really do take it seriously, but many don't. Not all, but many don't, it's prioritizing having your drink before, or like not prioritizing your sleep, not checking your diet. So once football season rolls around, it's like, let me just go to this game. Like, yeah, you go to your trainings, but are you really prioritizing your athleticism? I think that sort of compassion for that or passion for that has shifted over the years. Like I said, my dad talks about that a lot, and I have to agree with him. So then when it comes on to, our games, our national team, it's like that mindset is kind of latent. So like, let's train for it right before, but the mindset isn't there leading up to, which of course can affect someone's game. But that's just my little opinion.
Yeah, I would think that having more players who represent the national team in 2024 that are actually playing some sort of professional football would actually have us in a better space professionally. I
agree and disagree at the same time. I think it's a mindset.
Real quickly, like just finish my point. My point is, I think that when you put in these spaces, it should encourage a better space for even the athletes that are not in there. However, the challenge with that, and this is no knock on those players who come back and do play or decide not to, is it's Bermuda. It's not like you're playing for England. It's not like you're playing for Spain or one of the leading countries. So is it even something that they consider useful for their time? And I think many African nations face this same thing. The African nations could not afford to give their players what other countries would give them. And so players will reject them playing for their countries for a big, portion of time. Remember, let's not forget, Nakeem Wells just came back into the fold after leaving the national team. And that's not a knock on him, but there were times when Sean Goddard didn't play for Bermuda. Is there conflict? Is that helpful to getting people out? Is it hindering the growth of the national team? I don't know, but I think there's so many factors to consider. And I would think that the professionalism would rub off, but it's not necessarily that easy.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying about mindset. So I apologize for cutting you off. I thought it was a gap there. But I think it goes back to mindset of the professional players and how they feel about their country, as well as those who are playing in our weekly games, right, during football season. I think it boils down to how the person feels, one, about the sport and their athleticism in the sport, and then how they can display that for their country. I think all around there's just a disconnect. And then if that's happening on the field, then naturally who's going to want to come out and see that, right? So
yeah.
possibly.
Do you think, though, Perry, and I'll get back to the audience, I know there's still some comments. Do you think that, because I'm trying to think if it was the late Tonzi Russell, someone said it years ago, we were talking about football in Bermuda. This was like 2008-9. I want to say it was someone of the game. I don't know if it was Clyde Bass. Somebody, basically the excuse and it wasn't an excuse, it was just a question I asked was, do you think that the state of the fields play an impact in our ability to compete? And because we're not competing at a certain level, people lose interest. And you know what? They came at me so hard. Patty said, "State of the fields. You know what we used to play on back in the day?
Exactly.
We didn't even
That's
have
why
full games, right?" So I was just like, okay, well, let me put that aside. It's not that. So I don't know. I mean, let's go to the audience real quick.
I think Annette gave a great list of all of the variables, and many of which we talked about. And I think the price, of course, the cost to actually come, and then just what's happening on the field, to your point about the professionalism as well as the overall athleticism. I think all of them go hand in hand.
And I also want to highlight what you said, because I think when we speak about anything in Bermuda, one thing we have to always consider is something that we don't actually have a fact show. Number one, so many Bermudians have left. Many have left. And I think, I'm not saying to dismiss anything else Perry said, but I think that's an underlying problem in so many things that are impacting us as a society right now. So keep that in mind. Real quickly, I'll read these before we bring Maya in. Don't forget, we got Dr. Kyjuan Brown coming up. We're talking about the hair restoration. So Teray says, yes, like how was Morocco the first African country to make it to the finals in the World Cup? African talent is everywhere, and the European teams will be nothing without the African diaspora. They didn't make it to the final, like the final, just for clarity. She goes on to say, like, I'm sure the black people in the Netherlands are on their national football team. But yeah, Morocco did advance very far in the last World Cup. I think they beat Portugal, went into the semifinals or quarterfinals. All right, let's bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. We've got Dr. Kyjuan Brown coming up after that. Perry, what do they need to do to get you to the next football game or hockey game or national team game?
I don't know. I think I'm one of the people that are just disinterested in football in general. But I think from this conversation, I am proud to be a Bermudian. Like, I really am. And I would hate to be one of the many who were like celebrating Bermuda only when we have our wins, because there's a lot of people like that, you know, like, oh, if we were to win the team, then yes, Bermuda, Bermuda, Bermuda. If we get on the main stage, on a world stage, yes, Bermuda, Bermuda, Bermuda. But I think that's just also the nature of people. So.
But I'm with you. I don't know right now. I think due to the job that I have in the community, I will probably show up just because of that. But that's, I'm speaking from this capacity. If I wasn't not doing this, I have to think about it, Perry. I'm with you. I don't know at this time. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break, and we'll be with Dr. Kyjuan Brown. If you haven't already, take 10 minutes of your time, fill out the survey, go on our website. It's right there. Maya will probably share it on social media a bit later.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
You know, I like these conversations. You know, I'm very much into sports and celebrating, you know, our athletes on the island. So this is a very intriguing one. I could say though that I remember times when I did go watch football games and it was pretty packed even on the other side. So like even past to when it wasn't there before and then when it was. Like, I remember actually being on the other side, truthfully, with my family and watching some of these games, or when track came around as well, being over there. So yeah, it's interesting the decline that we have seen, and a lot of the things that I have put up and reported on the day out too. You see such an empty field there. And last time I was home and I watched the game, yeah, it was empty on the other side too.
What I mean, you've played hockey. Does hockey face similar challenges?
Yeah.
Way worse. Look, nobody cares about hockey. Like, that's how I felt growing up. Like, no one ever cared. What? Like, my games all the time, every single week, were basically empty. If my sister may have showed up or something. But yeah, it is still taking a long time. And yes, now that Bermuda's hosted some of the global events here on island, it's picked up. And I remember in 2022 when we played, we talked about it so much in our field hockey community, just how many people actually showed up for us was so inspiring. Like, tears, worthy of tears, that people came up to watch our sport after years of never having an audience, all the time being in school. And people were like, why do you play field hockey? And then people realizing like Black people play field hockey. Like, so many questions about it, right? Because like it doesn't get the light, it doesn't get the recognition.
Real quick question, you jump in the news for both of you two. Do you think adding like entertainment prior to the game or halftime would help? Or
yes.
do you think so? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see big NBA sports and stuff like that. But like when I'm out here at Raptors, basketball games and stuff like that, there's something to keep the people going. Because if you broadcast, especially for broadcast and stuff like that, obviously there's like time steps. So Jamal, because you worked in those spaces. But like, yeah, something to actually make it an event to go to as well. I'm sure it also helps bring more people up. I always talk about like the production value of things, because not everyone's going to be there just to support our players. If you want to get more people in to get to know them and stuff like Perry as well, there's got to be something else there that intrigues them to want to come, other than just sitting down and watching football if they're not into it like that. We're in a different era now.
Okay.
But that's always been the case, because not everyone is interested in sports. They just aren't. I'm one of those people. I'm very competitive, but I'm just not into sports. Like, I'll watch a game, I'll have a team, but to watch them every week, that's not really my thing.
You know what you remind me of? We got to do the news because Dr. Kyjuan Brown's got appointments to go to do. But real quickly, I want to say this. It reminds me of going to Atlanta Braves games as a child, and my godfather's wife always bringing a book. And like, we pay for a ticket for you to read a book. Like, everybody's into everything. So I get it. Hey, BFA, let's create some entertainment. Let's get people out. Hockey Association, Cricket Association, everybody. Let's get it going. Maya, what you got for us in the news today?
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is your daily newsbreak brought to you by the great people at People Pharmacy. Starting out your news this morning, well, they will sulk, they will limp, and they will crawl in the city of Hamilton. The Teen Advisory Board at Bermuda National Library has actually put together a bit of a zombie walk for the youth, and it's supposed to be a fun-filled event that promises an evening of excitement and laugh. Now, this will be tomorrow, October the 25th at 6 p.m. Basically, you'll see a lot of young children just being out there with their families, or more of a walk. It's only $5 to be a part of this, and it's just supposed to be a fun-filled event, and some actual refreshments afterwards as well. And hopefully a lot of people in the community go out just to go for the walk even, and just to be with the kids. So
I was wondering where you were going with that story. I'm like, huh?
So if you do see a lot of people in costumes walking around town, that's what it's about. It's supposed to be some people and some establishments on the sidewalks too, giving out candy to these young children. They should stop around the national side, the Bermuda Union of Teachers building as well. So short walk, but if you see them, that's what that's about.
You know what? That's just like another day in New York City. Just saying. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Well, in other news, and this one might be kind of spooky to some, but road closures still continue to happen, this time up in St. David's Road in St. Parish. Will continue all the way to October 31st, and this will be on Stokes Point Bridge Bend. So they say the extension is necessary to complete ongoing wall reconstruction and road improvement works in the area. Traffic will continue to be detoured through Kinley Field Park to Wallace Point Road and Southampton Road. So just be mindful of that. They start weekdays 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. with construction. So that's what's going to still be going on down there in St. David.
Good luck on the roads, Bermuda.
Indeed. Now, you know the saying, saying is often way too true. And actually, when I first saw it come up on my screen, I was like, oh, what a great deal. But normally, if it's a great deal, it's most likely too good to be true, because there's another scam going around right now, guys. This one actually involving public transportation. There's an advertisement promoting a 3-month smart pass that has been circulating on various social media platforms. It claims 3 months of basically free rides on public transportation. Again, this sounds great, but please note, it's not true and it's a scam. The government says, please be aware that this is a scam and not a promotion by the Department of Public Transportation or the government of Bermuda. The department is urging customers not to click the link in the caption, as it may lead to personal data theft or financial fraud.
I would
We
have
live in
felt.
a weird time. We do.
I would have felt
Such
for
a
it.
weird time.
Look, I saw it and I was going to send it to my sister. I was going to screenshot it, and then I realized this is a scam.
I would have felt for it because I saw it and thought, oh, really, government? But then it hit me. Government hasn't made an announcement.
And
Just
they
like-
wouldn't just send it out like that. And
Correct.
that's what gets our aging population, and that's what makes me so upset, because that's who they're targeting, right?
Correct.
It makes me mad, it does, but what can we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, just be vigilant, be aware. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, typically always is. Typically
For this.
always is.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, so this next story is a pretty big one coming up, but no triathlon, no squash, no diving, no road cycling, and no cricket and more at this year's 2026 Commonwealth Games. So you may ask why? Well, it comes at a price. It cost about 800 million when it was put out in the UK, and they said in the UK that it was the most expensive thing they did since 2012. And then Australia, state of Victoria, pulled out of hosting the 2026 event, and the state premier, Daniel Andrews, said in a report to BBC News that all costs and no benefit, and plunged the future of Commonwealth Games into serious doubt. And then Glasgow stepped in to save the Games, but it will be different, with only 10 sports to be played out over 4 venues at an estimated cost of £140 million. So way less than the 800 million, but they're taking away 10 sports. Now, a lot of Bermudians Commonwealth athletes have come forward and shared their disappointment, especially our triathletes, taken to their socials and to other news outlets. This is like a really tough spot, especially for Bermuda, since we recently have done so well in the Commonwealth Games. Last medalist being July Panchief and Flora Duffy. And we also still have like record holders in the Commonwealth Games. So obviously our cyclists, quite upset. Everyone's kind of expressing their opinions on this here. It's a disappointment for sure about not being able to be in this prestigious games, and a very disappointment for like even a lot of smaller nations like Bermuda, because we only have so many athletes that specialize in such sports, and 10 sports being taken away, that's a huge number. We have more to come on that next week.
Are they replacing them, if anything?
No.
Okay.
It's just some are in, some are out. There are so the ones that normally would be in, and there's still all the para sports. I believe all the para sports are still in, but it's just a big chunk, especially like of what is Bermuda. A lot of people are really upset that rugby sevens is taken out. That was like a big one, a big deal for a lot of people who found out this news, and field hockey as well. But
Definitely, definitely something to continue to look into, because I'd like to go read about that as well.
Especially when you think of the future of sports, because if you have noted, like even a lot of Olympic venues like that have been the part of the Olympics in the past are now derelict and like abandoned. And it's just like, what are we doing with all these empty spaces and all this athletic things that happen? And the prices just keep going up and up.
For sure.
Right.
That ties to what we're talking about today.
It does, yeah. And now in more sports-related news, and this is great for us, the senior women's volleyball team are flying back to the island with silver medals after finishing runners-up at the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Championships in Antigua. You would have heard us report on their departure last week in the news of Bermuda, who topped the 16 group with 4 wins and a defeat in their 5 pool matches, lost 3-0 in their final to reigning champions St. Lucia. But the girls are coming home with some medals still, with that silver.
That's what's up. Congratulations to them. Seriously.
Definitely big ups to them. And the weather looking today says sunny periods with occasional showers, but no, we've been getting huge downpours of rain up in Bermuda right now. And it says it's going to be some increasing strong gale force winds as well. So, when you're on those bikes, be careful. When you're out, just be careful. Keep yourself wrapped up, keep yourself warm, and we're going to have a high of 79 degrees.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for that, Maya. Be careful out there. That weather's indifferent. Perry, do you have any days of the year for us?
I do. Today is National Jerk Chicken Day.
Nah, boy.
Well, National Jerk Day, so you can jerk anything. National Jerk Day is a vibrant celebration of Jamaican culture. It focuses on the unique jerk seasoning and the cooking method. So, a little bit behind it, it's to celebrate more than just food. It honors the cultural fusion that jerk cooking represents. The seasonings combine elements from the indigenous Taino and African cuisines, reflecting Jamaica's diverse heritage. And how you can celebrate is by firing up the grill and jerking your favorite foods. So
why you didn't tell me? I would have had the chicken marinating all week, get in the air fryer.
I wanted it to be a surprise. You have all day.
Honestly, Maya, anytime I stop eating meat, honestly, guys, jerk chicken's the thing I miss the most. And I'm gonna tell you, if I'd have known it's National Jerk Day, I'd have had some stuff marinating for the last 2 days.
Well, I'm plant-based all month, and I've been making black beans with jerk seasoning, so you can jerk just about anything.
Okay, jerk. Well, it's a restaurant Maya took me to in Canada.
Sugar cane. Look, I'm about to go there today.
You been to that one?
I'm like, nope. Booked.
Where?
It's called Sugar Cane.
Oh, Sugar Cane. Okay.
Yeah, on the Danforth. It's like, oh my dear.
Audience, I know the audience though. In honor of Jerk Day, what's your favorite Jamaican dish? What's your two's favorite Jamaican dish?
Ooh, I mean, I like curry goat.
Mm-hmm.
That could be like Indian but how Jamaicans do it, I like that. Rice and peas. I mean, jerk chicken, but I'm not. As I get older, I appreciate spicy more, but I'm not too crazy with the spices. So like mild jerk chicken.
Yeah, my body don't appreciate it as much as I got older. How about you, Maya? Favorite Jamaican dish?
I do like a lot of fish stuff, fish cuisine. So maybe ackee and saltfish, if that's straight from there. But I will also say a good fried plantain, man. I can't. I can't take that away. Like that's in every dish if I go away. And avocado, because the avocado is up there.
You have redeemed yourself from not eating cake, honestly.
Remember that?
Last week, I was just like, I don't know about this palate.
Linguist translation says oxtail. Yes, so many people love the oxtail. Jerk chicken says Suzanne Ingham. All right, Maya, thank you so much. We got to bring Dr. Kyjuan Brown on. We want to make sure he doesn't leave us for an appointment. We'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. Keep those coming. Oxtail, jerk chicken. I wonder what Dr. Kyjuan, he don't look like he like getting his fingers dirty, so it's got to be Ascovitch fish. I'm giving him Ascovitch fish. Yeah, I'm gonna give him. We'll be back in a minute, 58 seconds. In the meantime, go fill out that survey. It's on our website, folks. See you in a bit.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. She's Perry Furbert. I am Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, go on the website, thedailyhour.com, fill out the survey. We are giving away tons of prizes this year, like a lot of prizes, not one prize. So a lot of people are going to get a lot. We want to reward you for helping us help our community through these conversations and beyond the mic. So go fill out the survey. Don't forget to subscribe while you're on the website. If you haven't already, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, he's no stranger to the show. We have this Ask the Doctor segment on a monthly basis where you get the opportunity to reach out, ask any questions you'd like today. And we're not talking about me. Don't worry about that. I'm all right. All right. I'm all right. But today, we're talking about hair restoration. Stop laughing, Perry. Let's give a warm TDA welcome to Dr. Kyjuan Brown. Oops, I didn't press. Oh, there we go. Hey, Doc, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Perry. Good morning, Jamel. Thank you for having me back on your show. Good morning, Bermuda.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you back. First off, before we even get into the conversation today, do you like Jamaican food?
Oh, I do. And I was laughing behind Kyjuan. I stayed in Parsons Road, right? Stayed Fenton Drive. Grew up all my life. So Jamaican Grill was like our second kitchen.
There you go.
And I love the oxtails.
Okay, oxtails. Okay, oxtail, brother. We got quite a few people saying oxtail as a James Burgess as well, oxtail. So what was the thing called down Parsons Road they used to have? It was real popular.
Deep Dale Special.
Deep Dale Special.
Yes.
Mm.
You gotta say by the word, delicious.
Really? I've not. So, do I lose my Bermudian card if I say I've never had a Deep Dale Special?
Yes.
Yes.
And I used to frequent Jamaican Grill on Parsons Road, like frequent.
That's worse.
Yeah, I used to go to Jamaican Grill. They come up my house.
Yeah,
I'm confused. You never used to have the Deep Dale Special.
And you never had a Deep Dale Special? Wow.
I never had it, but you know why? Because I didn't eat oxtail, so I didn't, the rice and oxtail gravy. And people like, you could get other gravy. I don't know. I was never a sauce or gravy person, but
I'm judging you.
Yeah, I lost my Bermudian card. All right. Well,
I think I'll judge him too.
Doc, welcome back. Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to speak to you and have you come on by. But last time you came by in June, we spoke about. Now, I didn't know until social media told me earlier this year that people, including Bermudians, were heading off to Turkey for different procedures. You decided, you know what? Let's save people some money and bring the experts to Bermuda to help them. Just update people on what the process procedures have been to even get an appointment. Because last time you came, we went into detail about it. Today, we want to talk about what the process has looked like, how has it been for Bermudians, the response and the like. But how's the process been so far?
So Jamel, it's been phenomenal, actually. I've been doing medical hair restoration for over 10 years. And in that period of time, for patients that are unable to help or up to a point, we'll be sending them overseas to Turkey. And then when they come back to Bermuda, we deal with all the post-op care. So when the opportunity presented itself for this team to come to Bermuda, and they've been in business for over 20 years. So this is nothing but a day for them, sitting there for 6 hours over someone's head doing hair transplants. It's been phenomenal. The response has been phenomenal, actually. And I didn't even know, even though I've been doing it for 10 years, the extent of which people, especially women, use all sorts of camouflaging techniques and really have some hair loss and the suffering in silence. Mm-hmm. And they're coming in, men and women, like droves to get transplantation if that's an option for them. Mm-hmm. So how you get an appointment? You just give us a call at North Shore Medical, 293-5476, or you send us an email at info@nmac.pam and we get you on the schedule.
So okay, you get on the schedule, you come into for consultation, right? What's that process like in terms of time-wise? Is it a something that can be done in a week? Is it something that takes a couple of months? Walk us through that process real quickly, the consultation.
I mean, the consultations are relatively quick. They're like 15 minutes, right? We're coming in, we're just going to take some pictures so we can send to the Turkish team so they can give us a quote. I would do a quick hair and scalp exam just to understand where you are and to determine if transplantation is appropriate for you. And that's pretty much it. We explain the procedure, but most people already come knowing. They're like, I've been Googling this and YouTubing this for years, and I'm just happy that it's now available on the island. But for those people that need a little bit more information, that's what we're here for. We're here to guide them and to ensure that they make an informed decision.
Real quickly, Perry, I just want him to walk through this. I know Perry's got some questions, but I want you to walk through this. This is Gavin Smith, very popular in Bermuda throughout the entertainment scene, and he was someone.
So that's the team.
Yeah.
So we're taking this. This is actually him coming in for his procedure. So we've taken his blood. We designed his hairline, as you can see here. So he agrees to the hairline that he wants. And this is the surgical room. And, myself and the team are, doing the work. And we transplanted 3,900 grafts for Gavin. And we're excited that, he's going to be showing his results on May 24th, because it'll be just in time for his debut when he's on stage, giving us the feedback and the narration of the Bermuda parade.
Okay. So how long does that process take?
The surgical procedure for this can be 5 to 6 hours. So it's really a whole day, especially when we're doing a large transplant like this, like we did for Gavin and many others. It takes a whole day.
Okay.
So the procedure is you come in, we wash your hair. I will go ahead and do the scalp block, so it's painless. And I think there's a clip there, or he posted it, and everyone that's doing it is saying that it's really painless. And we do a great job at that, because we don't want people to be discomfort for 6 hours. Most people are there sleeping and snoring, and I wake them up just to make sure that everything's okay.
So you mentioned the public response to it. You've kind of answered all of the questions that I was going to ask you. So that's great. What is the prep like for an individual who wants to come in? What do they have to do prior to?
We just say, if stop drinking, I have to tell people this: stop drinking, stop smoking for at least 2 weeks, let their hair grow for at least 2 weeks. And if they're taking any medications, we'll consult you in reference to what medications you have to discontinue before the treatment, if at all any. But it's that simple. Just come up with a clean scalp, and we're going to wash it again when you come in for the procedure. It's really simple.
So that's before. And then you mentioned Gavin will be sharing his results on 24th of May. So typically, how long on average is the recovery?
So recovery is, we're talking about recovery and then hair growth. So recovery period, people can really go back to work the next day or the day after. Many of these guys, I think Gavin left our clinic. The next day he came in and he had to go on stage to do some sort of presentation, and he won an award. So big ups to him for doing what he does in the community. So really, there's no downtime. We have people that go back to work the very next day. Of course, if you're in construction and those types of things, we would ask that you probably take a few days off, just because we don't want dirt and debris to get up into your grafts. But most of our patients work from home or work in an office setting. So it's quite fine to go back to work the next day. Now, as it pertains to hair growth, now you will see in Gavin's pictures, if we have them, within 10 days, you're going to see those hairs start to shoot up. And that's really encouraging, because we know that the grafts are taken and things are heading in the right direction. And then unfortunately they drop off, and then they start to regrow at month 3. So at month 3, things start to grow up like wildfire. So by the time May comes around, he's going to be golden. So it's going to be more than 6 months.
This is so fascinating. So in your opinion, or from what you've seen, is it mainly just for appearance that people come in for this, or is it other health reasons that lead to people wanting this transplant?
Not really. Well, we have some patients that have had scarring hair loss conditions, like psoriasis. I had a guy he had a carry-on when he was very young and lost a lot of his hair on his scalp due to that. That's a fungal infection when he was young. We don't even see those types of things nowadays. Okay. And so for those types of individuals, they want to regain back their confidence. But a lot of people are just coming because they just want to grow hair. Now, what is strange? Let me say this, and Jamal, you may be next to my table. Is that a lot of guys who are bald, who shave off their hair, they're coming in for transplants. Wow. And I'm like, God, you look good without hair. They're like, well, I want options, and I'm tired of shaving my hair every day. I said, I never thought about that. And Gavin was one of them. And we even have Kenton Trott from Luxury Cuts, so big up to him. He's done it recently, and he's agreed for us to show his pictures and to blog his experience. And these guys look great bald. Now, for me, that's not going to work. So I have to kind of keep my hair in as well. I'm a client as well. I haven't done transplantation because I haven't got to that stage. And I don't want to get to that stage if I don't have to, because medical treatments are available. But yeah, it's quite strange seeing the bald guys coming in here saying that they want to now have hair like mine. So I'm like, well, we're here for it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But I want people to understand this. Perry, I don't know if this ran across your mind, but when I started, the first thing I said to you today was that I learned earlier this year that people were going over to Turkey for certain procedures, and you decided to bring them here. That's actually medical tourism. Speak to us about, was this part of what you were thinking? Now, again, I'm not saying that people have come to Bermuda for it, but you're giving people over this side an option to say, you know what? Hey, we've got something closer than having to travel that far. Did you think of that aspect when you said, let's
To be honest, I did not. I was really focusing on my own population. But when the story broke, I think the Royal Gazette, their title was medical tourism. I was like, I think that's probably our new direction. So, as we evolve in 2025, that will be our direction. We will start marketing to the East Coast, a lot of the gateway hubs, and probably have a partnership with Bermuda Air and other hotel partners to offer medical tourism. Because as you rightfully said, traveling to Turkey is quite a journey, right? Versus traveling an hour and a half to Bermuda.
Indeed. Audience, if you have any questions for Dr. Brown, send them through. It is Ask the Doctor. So if you'd like to know anything, just send your questions, comments through. We'll get through some. We have one here. Sophia Smith, she's asking, she says, I assume this is a procedure for females as well. Where does the hair for transplant come from? How do you match the recipient's hair texture in a small area procedure?
Yeah, so for females, you don't have to shave your hair. So that's the first thing, because you're most likely just doing your frontal line. So we just take a strip from the back of your head. We shave off a strip in the back of the head. And so we harvest the grafts and then transplant it to the front. And then you pretty much just brush your hair back over it. So you can go out looking cosmetically attractive immediately without having to worry about that. The team is very meticulous when we're taking the follicles, so we can see follicles that have 3 hairs coming out of them versus 1. And of course, you want a natural appearance of a hairline, and so you want to have like a little big hairline with 3 hairs coming out of each follicle. And so we gradiate it to be natural, and it's just a science. It's artistic, if you will.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I love that.
Interesting. Shamari Sky says, I had my consultation yesterday, Jamel. Very professional experience. So remind people who should come and get a consultation. And when I say who should come, is it available to every and anyone? Is there an age that they should be or have to be? Are you too old to consider getting it? Are you too young? What?
No, I mean, well, of course you have to be above the age of 18, right? I don't think we have anybody that young. I think we have a young guy in Bermuda College. I think he may be in his 20s, and he has, advanced male pattern hair loss, which is a family genetic trait for him. But really, every and anyone can come in for a consultation, because not only are we just talking about transplantation, we're also going to offer them, if appropriate, medical restoration options as well, which is topical, my topical formulations or my natural supplements that have been scientifically proven to grow hair. But let me also mention that the team also is very experienced in doing eyebrows and beards for men. So those guys who want to have a full beard now, it's possible for you to come in for a transplantation. So the image that you just have is also one of our patients, and he's has some regression of his frontal line and just wants to be able to have that redesigned. So that's his before his day of surgery, and then 10 days after. He can go out looking presentable, not looking like everything is just lost. So, and that's going to constantly grow over the next few months.
What's the pain level like? I know pain is relative and subjective, person to person, but what's the pain like?
Post-op, during the procedure, there's no pain because we give you medication for that. Afterwards, people just complain of discomfort, really. Think about it as getting a tattoo. It's just the area is just sore. And
This
that's what
is
most
really
people
it's
equate it to.
exciting. It's innovative. I'm very intrigued by all of it.
Yeah, and we're here to manage you through all of that. So some people that do have a very low pain tolerance post-op, I mean after the procedure, we give you medications for that to make you comfortable. We want this to be no drama, very very minimal pain, and minimal downtime as possible. Giving rise to people going right back to work the very next day.
Interesting. What are we looking like for the cost? Is it something that insurance will cover, or is it out of pocket?
No, it's cosmetic. It's cosmetic. So you look at 500, 5,000. I think the most anyone has probably paid was like around 6,000 because they have a larger area to graft.
And is there payment plans for it, or just?
Of course. I mean, because they're coming like every other month. So we have a schedule for December that's filling up very quickly. And I think because it's due to the holiday period, people can take off, and they normally take off anyway. And then they'll be back in February. And so far, it's looking like every other month. The team will be here doing transplantations for about 2 weeks. So, yeah.
I'm curious though. Because you come across like with the Steve Jobs mindset, right? Where Steve Jobs didn't literally ask people what they wanted. He created stuff and look at everyone now, right? Did you do any kind of study to see if this is something Bermudians needed, or did you just say, you know what, we don't have this available here, let's create it? Who's interested?
Well, as I said in my intro, I've been doing medical hair restoration for over 10 years, and I used to speak internationally before the pandemic, and I'll be getting back into it in 2025. So it's something that I've been doing for a while, and as in medical hair restoration. So we can get people to a point, depends on how soon they present. And those people that present late, like a Gavin, for example, I'm not baby Jesus. And I told him that at the very early part of his consult when he came from medical restoration a few years ago. And then when he heard about transplantation, he then circled back and was like, hey, I've been thinking about this. I see that you offer it now. So I didn't do any big studies in regards to what the population needed. So we bought them down. We opened up the schedule. The schedule was oversold. And so there was a waiting list. And I said, okay, I guess it's a lot bigger than I thought. And this is why they're coming down every other month.
Perry, I know Perry's a businesswoman, folks. I'm just reminding you. But that mindset in an entrepreneur is my favorite,
Innovative.
I love that. And something just told me, he probably said, you know what? I've got clients that I've been doing this for. Let me go see if I can work this. And I love that. I just love that in entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
And then just possibly hearing about the travel as well.
Yeah.
We can offer that here to alleviate the travel expenses. I have one more question about aftercare from our audience. Karen Simmons says, what is the typical aftercare process? No scratching, sun exposure, etc. She wants some more information.
Oh, great. Yeah. So we give you a whole summary. Let me give you the rundown, though. So, of course, we're not going to have you running out in the sun. No swimming for about the first 2 weeks. You can wear a hat after day 10, so the area be exposed. For those people that do want to have some sort of cover up, we give you a surgical cap that you can start wearing. We give you all the topical creams to apply because the area, most people say, it's not painful, it's itchy. And that's really as the hair is growing back and the area is healing. So we give you some creams for that. For men, you can get a shape up for the rest of your hair on day 5, day 7, and then a full haircut day 14. So it's not long of a recovery time at all.
Okay. Just remind people, Doc, I think we have some information. Remind people how they can get in touch because you said waiting list. And as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh boy, December.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm North Shore Medical. Our number is 293-5476. Or you can go ahead and send us an email with your pictures if you're outside of the country or choose not to come in and just want a quick consult. Just give us some pictures of your front, your sides, and your back. And then we can kind of estimate the approximate need of grafts and give you a quote based off of that. But we do really advise people who are local to come in because we can offer them some other treatments prior to their transplantation to either reduce the cost. Because if we can grow just like growing plants, right, or grass, if we can grow it naturally, then and only transplant the area that is not growing, then it's going to be far cheaper than doing a full restoration.
Indeed. Speaking to certain people.
You may be on my table, Jamal. Come on, we'll work something out.
This has been helpful. Suzanne England says Dr. Brown is a brilliant doctor. Doc, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to more updates, and I'd love to share. Thank you to you guys, your team, to Connect, for sending the pictures and videos of people like Gavin and the other gentleman, because I think showing that process can help actually ease fears. Because I'm gonna be honest, I was following it. And I think Perry asked the question about pain, right? Pain's different for everyone. But I like your response. I'm like, yeah, most people have tattoos and have big ones. Probably got that same vibe to it. That's what it looked like. But I think you've eased some fears this morning. You've educated people. And I thought it was a one-off. Now that you're saying it's looking like every other month, December's the next time, and then February. Hopefully, those who are interested can reach out and, restore whatever it is they're looking to restore.
Yeah, I would tell people don't wait. I mean, many people want to get it done by summer, right? So December, February would be the perfect time, because you would have 4 months, 3 to 4 months, if not longer. Because remember, at 3 to 4 months is when the hair starts to grow back. So anytime after that, it's pretty much smooth sailing, unless you go and do something, which I guess your barber give you a little mess up, but that's it. That will grow back within a week anyway. Because it's your permanent hair. It's not going to fall out. You can't pull out your follicles at that length of time. It's only the first 10 days where things are fragile, right? So don't end up on the waiting list and miss the opportunity of having, your hair restored by summer. But listen, this is going to be an ongoing process. So at some point, we'll find time to put you into the schedule. But for people, it's 6 hours a day. So it's not like we can do 10 people a day. It's only 1 to 2 people a day. So they're here for we do it for 2 weeks. And we may do it longer depending on the need.
All right. Dr. Kyjuan, thank you so much for coming on this conversation, and look forward to further updates.
Absolutely. And updates about anything else, So I like these type of platforms, and I give you all the props, Jamal. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Took you long enough to trust us and come on yourself.
He's busy.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Kyjuan Brown, folks, if you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you check it out. And also go on North Shore Medical's social media pages. You can actually see where patients are engaging and speaking about their experience at NMAC. So go check them out. We're going to take a final break. We're going to be back after this. Give us about a minute, 25 seconds, and we'll come back. We got the daily play. We'll wrap it up. But in the meantime, go to our website, do the survey. We'll be sharing it on our social media channels. Do the survey. Your feedback is crucial to what we do. And make sure you give us a like, a love, a follow, share this conversation everywhere possible. Stick with us.
Did you know 3 out of 4 people say that they have a good understanding of life insurance? But do they really? When asked how much the yearly cost would be for a 20-year, $250,000 level term life insurance policy for a healthy 30-year-old, 80% overestimated the cost by 5 times the amount. Ready for this? The true cost for that policy is about $220 a year. That's as little as 66 cents a day, or $20 a month. So let's put this into perspective. Compared to other monthly costs, isn't getting life insurance a no-brainer? If you can trim back on some of these expenses just a little bit, it will allow you to dedicate the savings toward an affordable life insurance policy. Contact one of our life insurance agents today to find the right policy for you.
Take a look at our walkthrough for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All righty. Thanks again to Dr. Kyjuan Brown for stopping by. Definitely appreciate him stopping by. And again, appreciate NMAC for the Ask the Doctor segment that we have once a month. If you want to reach out, please reach out to them, info@nmac.bm. Also, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Let's grow these conversations. Be on the mic. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with them on a regular basis as well. All right. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, Perry, are you ready?
Yep.
To name that place. All right. This is the most random question ever, folks. So forgive me if no one gets the answer. What is the least populated African country? What's that?
Libya?
It's a tourist destination.
Tourist destination.
Not Tanzania. What's that?
Kenya?
No. I don't think anyone's gonna get it. That was the most random, folks.
You should have given me like a letter. What's the first letter?
Someone said Egypt. Someone said Zanzibar. The first letter is S.
S. Serengeti? Is that a country? I feel like that's like a plane. Never mind.
Renee Simmons got it.
Seychelles?
She Googled that.
Really?
She Googled that. She Googled that. Ain't no way.
I want to go. It's beautiful, but the least populated?
Yeah.
It is a tourist destination. It's gorgeous. I would have never guessed that, though. I know it, but I would have never guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed. That's why I said it's the most random I had looked up. But
Google that, Renee. I don't trust it.
She had time. She Googled it. But as much. She's won both of got both of the questions right this week. That we've done. Congratulations. Looks like it's your draw to lose tomorrow. But Perry, let's wrap it up. Your final thoughts on the conversation about getting locals out to the games, and then obviously the conversation with Dr. Brown.
Well, the games, I think Maya, of course, raised a great point about the entertainment, not just like an artist, because that can be subjective on what people might be into. But, at like the halftime of like basketball games, they have like the shoot competitions, like encouraging those sorts of activities to make it fun for kids and individuals who may share thoughts like me, where they may not be overall interested in general with sports to that level. So there's that. And then with Dr. Brown, so knowledgeable. I mean, I've been to their facility for different things over the years, and it's a great team. They're very knowledgeable, very accommodating, and very kind. So if people had apprehensions, they make you feel quite comfortable there. And just given the information that he shared today, I've learned a lot. I mean, it's not a treatment that I need, but I feel like if I needed it, I got that information today. So that was incredible. I enjoyed listening to that.
Got you. I agree with you, Maya. I think I wasn't even thinking that you guys would say entertainment would be interesting. I'm like, no, if I want to go to a concert, I'll go to a concert. But it makes sense. And I think, just going through the audience earlier, Zane CT said, I agree with Maya. For example, the top 10 videos on NFL's YouTube channel are the Super Bowl halftime shows. The average person does not care about the American football game.
Sure.
That's crazy, right? Sherry Van
Tune in for.
I'm not a sports person either, but love the experience of the dance, kiss cam, free items from sponsors. Love that stuff, and sometimes a halftime show. So I think we've got a couple more. Connect Burgess said cricket, but go for the atmosphere, hype, crown and anchor, fashion, food, the camps, music, fun, entertainment.
Yep. I mean, that's cup match. People love cup match, but people like the atmosphere of cup match. Most people don't really like cricket.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, most people, look, let's be honest, majority of people at cup match don't even watch the game. I do. But they don't. So no, I think excellent points, excellent conversation this morning. I think that what I love about this show, Perry, is it's not our job to necessarily present solutions, but I like that we can discuss solutions, and hopefully the right people tune in. I don't think Perry is looking for credit for anything, nor am I or anyone else here. But it will be nice to know that some things that the audience is sharing will be taken into consideration to make our community better and make the environment better. As far as the conversation with Dr. Kyjuan Brown, honestly, folks, if you're interested in something that they're offering, check them out. Check them out, because I can only imagine how much air and hotel stay and all costs just to get to Turkey, let alone the procedure. So props to him for thinking on his feet with that and bringing it to Bermuda. Perry, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
Don't complain about the rain.
That's
See what I did there? Oh, I'm so clever. Don't complain about the rain, metaphorically and figuratively.
Hey, there are positives in it all. Folks, I'm going to share the link one more time. If you haven't already, please do us a favor. Fill it out ASAP. Fill it out ASAP. Take 10 minutes of your time to share your feedback with us to help us do what we do better for you, for us, and for the community. So please take 10 minutes of your time to fill out the Daily Hours annual survey. We appreciate your feedback. Again, you don't have to, you could submit it anonymously. You don't have to put your email. You can only put your email if you want to be included in the giveaways, but you don't have to include your email. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says mine is done. We thank you. And Anika De Shields loves that inspiration, Perry. We appreciate you. As does Suzanne Ingham. Don't complain about it. Yeah, let nature do what nature does. Trust me. It does what it does, folks. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Ascent, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. And we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Perry Ferbert. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.